Whenever I make one of these videos that's just covering payday news or something, I always aim to try to make it big and elaborate and have a good script for it and everything, but I'm juggling 3 videos right now, and I just don't have the time to do it. So, we're doing another Honest Thoughts video. We're going to be talking about Houston Breakout, a little bit of the Dragon Files, the drama with that Houston's not going to be in it, and a little roundup from my last video. Let's get into it. First off, little update. Mio, the game director, has reopened his Twitter account and has made a formal apology to the Payday community and Red Archer Live on behalf of Starbreeze. He's still going to be the game director. I don't know if he's going to continue to be the game director. I know in my original video I said I don't want him fired, and I think I can speak, with a heart in my hand and say, I don't want to see him fired, but I definitely don't have faith in him as the game's director unless we see something that really blows me away with Houston Breakout. I question his leadership. But on another note, I also like to say I'm sorry to all the PlayStation players who still haven't gotten their compensation items. In my video, at the last minute, I added a little addendum saying that, the compensation item situation has been sorted out. Evidently, I was very wrong because a lot of people in the comments very much let me know that they still hadn't gotten them. So I'm sorry for you. I guess I really did just get lucky with my items coming around the first time. But here's hoping, fingers crossed, that you'll get them with Houston Breakout. But moving on to the update itself, we got 2 videos. They did just put out the dev blog. But we got the Diamond District coming out along same time as Houston Breakout, a little free heist. On Diamond District, I think that it has the potential, at least on paper, to be something really cool and really innovative. 4 stores as a heist in Payday 2 tried to do something very unique. I don't think it quite pulled it off, hitting 4 stores at the same time. I don't think it quite pulled it off because the heist was so early in the development of Payday 2. It was one of the launch heists of Payday 2. But with this being the spiritual successor, it being 5 stores that we're robbing, I think that it does have the opportunity to do something really big and really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off, but fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Now on to Houston Breakout as a heist itself. Heist-wise, we haven't seen a lot of it. It takes place in a courthouse. We haven't seen a lot of the courthouse other than the courtroom where they're holding Houston and the main hub with the big domed roof. We haven't seen a lot of that, so I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I think it might end up being like another small heist like Boys in Blue, which is something I really don't want because let's just be honest. Let's compare this back in the day to Hoxton Breakout. Hoxton Breakout was this, big elaborate thing. We had, big live action trailer that, where we got a bunch of, good memes from, But with this, but that was, 10 years ago in 2014, and with what we have now, we just don't really have that because Starbreeze as a company isn't what it used to be in 2014, and yes, they were Overkill back in the day, or their subsidiary. It's like what Ulf Anderson said. It's like Overkill and Starbreeze have been the same ever since Payday 2. So, it's not the same anymore because they don't have the money or goodwill to pull off something like Hoxton Breakout. And also, I'd like to point out Hoxton Breakout was free. It's a community heist. And Houston Breakout is a paid DLC. Just pointing that out. So, but as for the heist itself, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. It's a shame we didn't get more fanfare about it or something bigger like a live-action trailer. But moving on to some sort of brighter stuff. Houston's design, we don't see his face, which of course plays into the fact that Payday 3 probably didn't pay to have Derek Ray's likeness to have him be Houston. Oh, by the way, Derek Ray is back. Happy days, Houston's back. They're covering his face in this Hannibal Lecter mask, which is there because he tackled the judge. He tackled the judge in his court case. Not a good look, but he did do that. So they're probably keeping his face. It also looks like he's got much longer hair. I don't mind it. Things change over, in between games. But as for the other things that come with the heist, i.e. the weapons, masks, and suits, weapons-wise, I really like what they're going here. The whole theme with this heist being burst fire weapons, and just going off the store page, or just going off the weapon pack page, I can tell 2 out of the 3. One of the weapons being the FAMAS, famous 3-round burst weapon, French, bullpup, all that jazz. Looks good. Second is a shotgun that I can't quite make out, and then the third is the Beretta, specifically the Beretta 92R, which is a 2-round burst pistol, which is notorious for being very fast. But for some reason, they've changed the name of it, or at least the naming scheme, like the other, like a bunch of other things in Payday 3. They also did the same thing for the FAMAS in Payday 2. It was called the Clarion, and in Payday 3, it's now called the Chanet. Not a big deal. It's the same sort of consonants, but with the Beretta 92R, I'm questioning it because I wouldn't say since. In Payday 2, they called it the Bernetti, and in Payday the Heist, it was just called, the M9 or whatever. So nothing really crazy, but just thought I'd point it out. Really hyped about the suits. They look fantastic. I'm so happy that we're getting, a suit that has body armor over it. It's one of those little things from Payday 2 it's because in itself, having armor exposed over your character is a choice in fashion. It's a character design thing. And we haven't had that in Payday 3. We've only had the default suits, the character's original suits, and then a few body armors, head to toe tactical gear. But with this, we're getting that nice tactical and business suit mix that I think we've been missing out on. And the other suits also look great. The judges' robes are funny. The trench coat, it's more of what we got before, so I'm not really impressed by it. And the regular vest, I'm very happy. The masks themselves, I think they all look great. The one being, the Devil, Hush Money, Your Honor, and then the big one being Breakout, which is a literal mix of Houston's mask and Hoxton's mask. For some reason, Houston's mask is a lot more purple in this, but, I don't think they're really going for accuracy with either of these. It's more of a stylized version of Houston and Hoxton, so nothing to really get upset about. Gloves are fine, too. Dragon Files have also been updated to talk about Houston. Specifically, we now have Prospect 2, which is opened up to talk about Houston and how he got arrested, and how, at least in the case of the FBI, they have not made a connection that Franklin Steele and Houston are the same guy. We also do get a picture in action, which I think is meant to be him in Payday 2, because it is just him wearing his blue suit and regular mask from Payday 2, so there's no new redesign for Payday 3, so I think that picture in the Houston files, if you do look at it, is meant to be Houston from 2013, 2014, which also has my fingers crossed, so when Houston is added, they do bring in, sort of like a happy birthday Payday 2, because it is the 11th anniversary of Payday 2. So I do hope that they bring in more OG fits, because with Payday 3, we got the OG Joy fit, which is her outfit from Payday 2, the green hoodie. But it makes me wish that we had more OG fits, that we had, like maybe Dallas OG fit, or Chains OG fit, Hoxton. I'm not really that much hyped about Hoxton. Hoxton in Payday 2 had this weird, ugly brown suit. I'm so glad that they made him blue again in Payday 3, but you get the idea. Now, here's where all the trouble starts, or at least for me. Houston will not be a playable character in this heist. He is coming, but he's not going to be a playable character in this update. According to lore reasons, which I guess we'll find out in the update with the cutscenes, Houston's not going to be a playable character. Which, sucks. It sucks a lot. Which, if we're going to homage Hoxton Breakout, because, tongue-in-cheek, haha, we got Hoxton back the first time around of Payday 3, now we gotta go get Houston, which was the opposite with Payday 2. I get that we don't have the same amount of fanfare, but it really sucks that we don't even get Houston at the end of the heist. Like, we're breaking the guy out, we're doing all of this, and we're not even going to get to play as him after the heist? Now, they said it's for story reasons, and honestly, I don't really have a lot of faith on what the story reasons can be. Like, the story has picked up and interests me because we're breaking out Houston. After this, I don't know what we're going to do. But it seems to me that if we're going to break out Houston, there's at least 2-3-ish possibilities on why we're not going to get to play as him as first. I'm going to go with the most likely, least likely, or actually least likely and most likely. So least likely, they're going to kill him, and we're going to fail to get him out. I see that as very unlikely. They brought back Derek Ray. I don't think they would just bring him back for a bit part and kill a beloved character of Payday 2. It would up the stakes, but people love Houston. I love Houston. I don't think they would do that. But I think the most likely thing is Houston is just going to stay out of the game. He's, and I'm speaking metaphorically, that he's not going to go back to be a life of crime just yet. And that is Houston just either A, doesn't want to get back into a life crime, or B, wants to stay underground until things have cooled down, because he's a wanted man after this heist. At least he's going to be. Same with Hoxton. So I think in the case of that, where it's just going to be straight up Houston, Dallas wants his little brother safe, and Houston, in his own self-interest, would probably want to stay, out of sight until the heat dies down. Maybe some other stuff has changed in between games, but that's it. I really think that's just going to boil down to that they're going to save Houston for a later update to space out characters. We also did get a hint at another character in the Dragon Files episode 2, that some guy down south killed a bunch of goons and picked the place clean. I don't have really any clue other than maybe Jacket, seeing as how brutal the kill was, or the kills were. But they said they weren't going to do any crossover characters, at least in the first year of Payday 3's life cycle. So if anything, they may say it's Dragon. They may reveal it's Dragon next year, and that's when he comes out. But that's my only guess right now. Hey, so I just thought of this while I was editing. Maybe it could be Sydney. She's known to be a psychopath. But yeah. So yeah, that's where we are with the update. The update comes out fairly soon. And yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll see y'all with Houston Breakout. See you guys.